Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
All right, we're back with another edition of the Roguecast.
That's right. It's fall.
It's fall.
It's a little cooler this week.
Technically.
It's like 90 degrees out. 90-ish degrees at the peak. And, for Texas, that's a blizzard.
It's starting to get darker earlier,
Dave.
Dave.
Called fake fall?
Yep, false fall.
False fall.
Yes.
It's starting to get darker earlier, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that is a nature of the end of the year.
Do you hate the dark now, too?
I don't like walking in the dark. I like to have time after work to settle in, have dinner, then take my dog for a walk.
Are you afraid of the shadow creatures from, what's that game? That video game?
Alan Wake?
Alan Wake? Are you afraid of the shadow creatures from Alan Wake?
Don't know what you're talking about, so no.
Oh, yeah,
you just
say that, but
he refuses to believe in them.
That's right.
But they believe in you,
He thinks that'll save him, but it won't. What's the name of that company that makes those? They've made the popular games Control and some other stuff lately, and they made Max Payne back in the day.
Oh.
Anyway, whatever. They've been building up their fandom big time lately. I've noticed a lot of friends have been getting into those games. But yeah, Randy, and Alan Wake, you basically play. What if Stephen King found out his books were kind of coming to life, and also there were shadow people?
I don't know what Stephen King would do with that, actually.
Yeah,
I feel like he'd be like, I knew it.
You're playing one of those characters in the game that
Rockstar,
yeah.
It's Rockstar?
Yeah, the same people who
Grand
did
Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption?
I forgot it was them, because I feel like they're... Wait, are you sure?
Well, they did Max Payne.
Yeah, I don't think...
Is it possible that it's a different company?
It's not the same company.
But it is the same company. Or at least they have it now. Because Max Payne has actually... They've worked in some of the lore into the recent Control stuff. Liz has told me about these things, and...
It's called Remedy Entertainment.
Remedy, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
They're a Finnish place.
Yeah. But anyway, I know people...
Are they Finnish shadow monsters? Is that
probably?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. No, I'm liking the sort of cooler, darker times, but it's not for everyone.
Matches the dark times we live in.
It matches the dark times we live in. Don't you want some more darkness?
No, I like sunlight.
You want the Superman of seasons.
I do.
And the heat.
Which is I guess, summer?
Yes.
Spring?
Yes, I'm sad about the loss of summer. Summer is my favorite season.
Yeah.
Winter.
Afraid you're not going to get any support in this room, right?
Okay, I don't need it.
But
I thrive on your scorn.
You know who else is on Team Randy? Cicadas. You've got the cicada vote.
Right. Me and my cicadas go outside and scream.
and the lizards, of course.
And the
lizards do like sunning themselves, inflating their throat sacs.
Yeah.
That's
my favorite thing.
All the stuff you like about summer.
Yeah, I do. I love it.
And when you climb into a tree and you chirp for about 10 hours on end.
Yeah, I do like to do that. I like to chirp and inflate my throat sac. So...
But in other news, there is comics and games this week. It's an interesting week of comics.
Yeah, so...
I think it's a good one.
It is. We have the clearance sale still going on.
Yes.
We have sold some notable stuff off of that. But
there's still good
there's
stuff
still a
back
lot of good
there?
stuff back there.
Well, because it was a bigger than normal clearance sale, so this one will take a little bit of work to diminish it.
You know you won an Astral Dreadnought. You know you did.
You might.
I mean, at half off, it's about as good as you're going to get.
Yep. Okay, games we got in this last week. We got a game called Tea Garden, where you are in a Chinese region it's a deck building and hand management game.
Okay.
You are a proud owner of one of the region's tea gardens. You want to cultivate and expand your empire by establishing new tea gardens along the Serene River Valley. You'll trade with other caravans, acquire new cards, ferment your tea leaves, harvest more tea. Fun, as we all know.
When I hear the word caravans, I assume that this is set in a past sort of thing.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. No, that sounds cool. Were you about to say that, as you all know, that gameplay is not determined by thematics?
Right. Just because the theme of you're like, oh, I don't care about tea. You still might like the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is I think our board game people kind of know that.
Yes.
But if you do kind of play the more Ameritrash games, something that thematically is cool, like the Aliens board game or DC deck building or something like that, which is a good game.
Yeah.
But it sometimes is a little harder to see how these games that have the kind of the quirkier themes, it's like what is it, like Wingspan and stuff like that. But in fact, are some of the most beloved games there is. People have such a good time playing them, and you should, if you haven't, expand your horizon. Try one of them.
Indeed.
Find a friend who's got one. You probably know somebody who does. Make them play it with you. And also, when you play the tea game, play as a ruthless tea shop.
Yes.
With an iron-fisted control of their tea drinkers.
If the Fire Nation ran a tea shop.
That's right.
Play like Uncle Iroh. Play. He
was with the Fire Nation.
He was.
But I'm talking about more tyrannical.
Until he turned traitor.
Nick's talking about Azula's tea shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Come and get punished in some tea.
The side of
That's
crazy.
probably a kink shop somewhere
There's
in
definitely
Japan.
there are people who go to that shop.
Tea
yeah.
and punishment.
Tea and Punishment. That was the original title, I think.
Welcome to Tea and Punishment.
And they were like, "What about crime?"
But you know how they weren't able to do a season 4
Yeah.
what do you call it, Avatar? That was what it would have been.
Tea and Punishment.
Tea and Punishment. Yeah.
Force Shuffle, which is a game that's done really well. It's a bestseller.
Yep.
Has a new standalone called Dartmoor, which you're competing to place trees and shrubs. You're interacting species and locations, and it's just new flora, new fauna, new habitat. So a new standalone version of that game.
But you could also play it with an iron fist.
An iron-fisted
You're like,
forest
my
shuffle.
placement of shrubbery will
Yes.
destroy you.
I am an iron-fisted ecologist.
That's right.
What are you, Swamp Thing?
Oh, yeah.
There's as I look at this, there are a series of weird concepts for good games
Let's
here.
keep it rolling.
Okay.
Let's keep
All
it
right.
rolling.
The Peak Team Rangers. You're a team of wildlife rangers. Your mission is to ensure the well-being of different species in your wildlife reserve while
Sorry,
protecting
the mission is to do what?
to ensure the well-being of different species
Well-being.
in your wildlife reserve
This sounds fun.
while protecting them from potential threats. It's a co-op game. 2 to 5 work together. Sounds fun.
My wildlife preservation will crush your wildlife preservation.
It's cooperative, Dave.
You're trying to.
We will crush the board together. Oh, yeah.
They said there's threats, so we can
Yeah,
we can kill
right.
those
Yeah,
threats.
That's right.
Farmhand, a 21-card micro game for 1 to 5 players. Fits in your pocket or your purse. Can be played almost anywhere.
This is how we're going to enjoy the ecology and wildlife in the future, is through games where we imagine...
Remember when there was wildlife?
You're like,
and
just imagine if you still had an opportunity to clean it up and make the forest beautiful.
Yeah.
Now it's all on fire.
Yep.
No, that sounds pretty like a good game though.
We got 2 unlock shorts. Unlock the mystery, the escape room games.
Tiny versions.
I want to play those little tiny versions
Yeah.
because when you buy one of the bigger ones, like the boxed games, they come with a little 10-minute starter set, which I assume, and I think these are like
These are like
smaller
15.
games.
These are like 15 and 20.
Yeah, like a double that
Yeah.
sort of. But that little 10-minute starter is so elegantly done and perfect way to explain the rules, and they're fun to play. That I want to try one of these little baby ones. Which ones are they?
One is The Mind of Sherlock Holmes, which apparently is a graphic novel because it's illustrated by the author of the graphic novel.
Okay.
So it is a comic book about Sherlock Holmes that you basically are working alongside Sherlock Holmes to solve an investigation.
I thought you were trying to get out of Sherlock Holmes' mind.
And it could be, I don't know. And then
I'm trapped in the cerebral cortex.
the other one that says The Poetic World of Song of the Sea Spray.
I read the description of this, and it was so offbeat sounding, it sounded like one of our weird little indie games.
Impossible love story between a fish and a bird, written in rhyme, where poetry and mystery intertwine. Weird.
That's crazy, but also points for ambition.
Yes.
Probably fun to play. Probably laid back, and people who don't want to be all like hardcore and destroy their opponents at tea
My
shop
poetry
running.
will crush your fish.
That's right. No, it sounds nice. There are people who enjoy love stories, I've been told.
Yeah. Small Fjords, tile laying game. Tile laying is a game I know Dave and I both like with
Yes.
Carcassonne.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you place, there's a phase where you're placing terrain, building a shared landscape of fjords, meadows, and mountains. And then the Vikings come in, claiming territories and scoring points.
Well, it was kind of light and fluffy, and then
So you
Vikings
cultivate the area, but then you have
But
to...
you're trying to, it's
Also
almost
to
like a tower
protect it,
defense
or are
game.
you
You're
going to-
trying to build it so it's like, so the Vikings can't like
That
take
actually
all your
sounds
territory.
interesting, like an interesting challenge. to
My
it.
Vikings will crush your fjords.
My fjords will crush your Vikings. I don't know what quite accent I managed
I don't know,
there,
but it
but
worked.
You're kind of in the ballpark.
Tango, which is a 2-player game. It's a trick-taking 2-player game where you're trying to perform the best possible dance steps.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Plan ahead as best you can, but remember your opponent knows some of the steps you will take. Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
My dance steps will crush your dance steps.
That's right.
There's
You want to die on this dance floor?
a slightly more abstract one called Mabula,
Okay.
or possibly Mabula. It's a 2-player. You begin with 12 marbles of your color, and then you're like moving your marbles around. The only rule is no more than 2 marbles of the same color can be placed consecutively, even around corners.
Oh, interesting. So it's more of an abstract game like Go or something like that,
something
but
like
probably,
that.
I bet, a little bit more quick play. But that sounds cool.
We got the new Catan Explorers and Pirates. This is the revised for the new revised Catan.
Nice, yep.
Is Explorers and Pirates? No, Traders and Barbarians is the one that has the deck of cards.
Yeah, it's a varied series of editions that you can make. I haven't done Explorers and Pirates yet.
We got Starfinder Galaxy Guide Pocket Edition. This is the sort of
The popular little digest ones.
We also got Starfinder GM Core. This is the second book of the Starfinder Second Edition.
So they do break up. They didn't always break up the player's handbook and the GM.
They have done
book.
that since Pathfinder Second Edition came out. Though.
Okay, and so the GM book is now out.
Yes, the GM book has guidelines for encounters, giving out rewards, that kind of thing.
That's cool.
There is going to be a Alien Core, which will be all the monsters, and that'll be the 3 books essentially.
Sorry. So is this Pathfinder or Starfinder?
Starfinder.
Starfinder. Okay, I think I was saying Pathfinder. That's cool. You know, I'm not I don't play. It's a little too crunchy for me.
Yep.
But I always want to like look through the artwork, and I like the lore and everything like that.
gonna say, the
So
lore
I
is
like to
cool.
look in on it.
We've got 2 party games back in. The new edition of Codenames, which is a classic.
I really like Codenames.
I really like Codenames as well, and you can play with any level of skill.
Yeah, it hits a sort of sweet spot for me where it's a fun word game, but not like, and it's challenging, but in kind of a way that kind of makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is going to be fun and difficult and stuff. And then, but it's just within my skill set.
I got the Marvel one, which is all pictures of Marvel characters,
Yeah.
and that one you can only play with diehard Marvel people.
Oh, right, because
Yeah.
you need them to know some lore
Yeah.
to get the clues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's definitely a smaller audience. The Codenames
Yeah.
is very approachable. Red Letter, Yellow Letter, which is the party game of saying words with letters in them, and saying those words when they fit in a category, and when they have the right letters in them. And that's basically it. Also, all these things are on cards. Okay, now that's pretty much it. That's their description.
They're a little cheeky about
Yeah, a
it.
little cheeky. I assume it is a pronunciation. Red Letter, Yellow Letter is one of those rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Those
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
Yeah. It's a
She sells seashells kind of
seashells, she-shells, yes.
thing. Yep.
Yep.
What's the one? Do you know the one from the Jerk? I'm going to say it slowly.
Okay, yep.
I slit this sheet. The sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit.
Yes, yes.
Try and say it fast. You'll have fun.
Yep. We'll say a bad word. And then I think that's basically it. It's a lot of games.
It is a lot of games.
We've been getting a lot of new games.
Yeah. From ecology to dance moves to
Fjords.
fjords. Yeah.
For
we have
sure,
it all.
fjords.
NT.
I will be the fjord lord.
All right, let's talk about this week's comics.
Okay. Yeah. Lots
Let's
of stuff.
start with DC's new book, C.O.R.T. Children of the Round Table. That's C.O.R.T.
Yep. This is from one of our favorite people, Tom Taylor.
Yep.
But it's kind of an offbeat project for him, and
Yep.
we're not quite sure where it's headed. But it is 100% about an all ages comic about some kids who find out that they're like the inheritors of the kind of the Knights of the Round Table, their weapons and their kind of they're maybe their enemies and stuff like that. And it's like a fun all ages project. Mm-hmm. It is produced by DC, and what we're trying to figure out is like, will the DC setting play a role? Which it doesn't really in the first issue. There's no mention of Gotham or any other heroes, but we don't know yet.
Second issue is definitely going to have Constantine in it.
I mean, he would fit, but the kids would be like, no smoking, Constantine. but I feel like this is kind of fits in that adventure series era of like, you know, kind of like, I'm not quite sure if it'll push as hard as Avatar: The Last Airbender, but like, you know, like Ben 10 and stuff like that, don't you think? It's kind of in that energy, or even the Teen Titans from the early 2000s.
A little bit, yeah. I actually rather liked this. I thought it was good. Taylor teams up with his artist friend who they worked on Neverlanders?
Seven Secrets.
Oh, Seven Secrets.
Oh, okay, it's that same artist.
Yeah. I thought
The art's really pretty.
yeah, it's got a
is.
great sense of energy.
Yeah, the kids have that kind of exaggerated style that's I'm going to say a little influenced by manga, but it's not a particular attempt to
Right.
look like manga. It's just they have that kind of fun exaggeration. I suppose also a little Calvin and Hobbes energy even.
But also just like the backdrops and all. It opens with this really great like little nature scene.
Yeah.
Also, credit to colorist Rain Barreto. Not a name I knew, but the colors really pop.
It does. They do.
And the kids kind of have you see hints of some minor, it's not YA level angst, but there's a little bit of, this kid's got a personal problem. He's got a temper problem.
Yeah.
And he lost in a soccer game, and he's clearly kind of holding it in. But there's a kind of a nerdy kid who kind of, maybe he's a little bit at the center of the group. Almost it reminded me, in It, Big Bill.
Yeah.
But who's kind of they get together and they kind of do quests, which is they kind of have some role-playing fun, but for our quest we're going to go to the cave on the outskirts of town, and but he describes it as if it was like a medieval quest, and one of the other, most of them are playing along with it, but one of the jerky kid is kind of being he's just say we're going to the caves, man, or whatever, and but then something truly magical happens, and
I think if you're a fan of any Arthurian legend, this is kind of a fun take on it.
It is, and I really think it is made best probably for kind of the YA and under crowd. I think will like it most. I think I have to see more of it to see how it will present more to an adult reader. Right. But it is cleverly written and stuff.
Yeah,
and has good art and all that. So yeah, I'd say Arthur Nuts, people with kids, nephews, nieces, should check it out.
Or just want a good comic.
But once again, it's called C.O.R.T. What is it? Children of the Round Table?
Children of the Round Table.
Yep.
Although, Dave, I believe you correctly, Court is probably a nod to
King Arthur's
Court.
Yep. Or maybe the Supreme Court, I don't know.
Going a different direction, we also have a couple of very bloody gun-toting books this week.
Oh, yeah.
Red Hood, #1. This is new writer, horror writer, Gretchen Felker Martin. Yep. Artist Jeff Spokes.
From the prose world.
And this is Red Hood gets his own new city called New Angelique, which is, Dave, you definitely pinned as sort of a New Orleans type.
Yep. Yes. It made me nostalgic for New Orleans, even though it was also talking about how hot and muggy it is.
Yep.
But the architecture is the artist was clearly drawing from real New Orleans architecture.
I like the art in this a lot.
It's very cool artwork. And this is a book that kind of... Well, go ahead, finish your thought.
This also, Huntress is in it.
Right, Huntress is... I don't know how regular she's going to be, because
I think this is essentially a team-up book.
She shows up, and they're not, kind of wild about working together, but it's clearly going to happen.
I think they're going to do a buddy comedy kind of thing, which I'm all for.
You say buddy comedy, but this is a dark crime action book.
Yeah, but in that, that...
Well, the 80s genre, the way Lethal Weapon was.
Yes, so these two people have to work together. They don't necessarily like each other.
Or Kiss, Bang, Bang.
Yes, exactly.
And what's interesting is that although it does not bear the label of it, and it still is part of the DC All-In, I noticed, this actually has an R rating. It languages all the way up to F-bomb, which I am not used to normally seeing in a Red Hood book.
There's bloody violence.
There's bloody violence, although it's violence kind of within the scope you would expect of an average Punisher comic.
Don't worry, guys. There's no boobs in it.
No.
They're definitely.
But we'll see. Maybe there will be
the lethality of Red Hood. And they're also using continuity because he's on the outs with the Bat family.
Yeah.
And he has...
That happens periodically.
And he has a kind of death wish at the moment.
I'll say I am not a general fan of the costumes of Huntress or Red Hood as they change them. Yeah. I've always thought the original costumes for both of them were kind of the best.
Yep.
But I like the interpretation of both these. It's not my favorite version of either costume, but they're both solid designs.
I think the Huntress one is really good.
You know something else I've noticed is I think part of the reason why they keep changing it, sure, every artist wants to leave their stamp on it, but I think part of the reason that happened is because of video games and movies, where, between movies, they Captain America's costume updated, 4 times? Something like that?
Yeah.
And in video games, you have downloadable new skins and all that stuff, and I think that they... the comic people were like, well, we want to play around with some of those same designs. There's also a character that seems to be a native to... What's the... New Angelique?
Yeah.
Named, a kind of roguish anti-hero named Royale.
Yep.
Who's an interesting character that... I think it's best to kind of have some fun discovering that character.
I think it's the world here that kind of drew me in the most.
I
like you get introduced to some of the cops, some of the There's a big case going on.
The city has a lot of kind of personality because you get that descriptions from the narrative of the internal monologue.
It makes me kind of want to seek out her prose work as well, just because it's got a nice sense of presence.
If I'm not mistaken, one of our big reader coworker Serena, I think, has enjoyed this author.
Yep.
And so you should check it out. Check her out too, Nick. But yeah, I remember reading an interview with the writer, and she said something like, she's like, I'm going to deliver what Red Hood fans want, which is to say, it's going to be like hard boiled. He's going to kick some fucking ass. And he does. He does kick some ass.
True.
But he's also kind of a pulp hero. He's like the kind of guy who takes his licks, too. He gets his ass whooped a little bit, too.
He's a slightly more violent Shadow.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a good start.
And then also we've got the return of the Punisher in Punisher Red Band #1.
Yep.
We've not read this because they're all bagged.
It's true. It's Paul bagged.
It's Ben Percy. The art looks good. It is a back-to-basics Punisher.
Who's the artist? Is it Cicchetto?
I don't think so. I don't remember the artist.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Marco Cicchetto. But
it might be. I don't know. Anyway, Punisher Red Band.
Punisher Red Band.
Lots of variant covers with it, too.
Yeah. There's a lot of variant covers in general this week. Red Hood has a bunch. X-Men X-Men Apocalypse Alpha, which also has a ton of variant covers.
This is a bit of a tongue twister of a name.
This was a surprise for me because I sort of know Age of Apocalypse. I didn't read it at the time, but I'm not a big Jeff Loeb fan these days. But this is a solid return. If you liked Age of Apocalypse, the basic premise here is at the end of Age of Apocalypse, spoilers, the humans drop nukes and kill everybody.
Yeah,
and I guess. At the end of the original Apocalypse,
the
original.
And for people who don't recall the 90s, since it was like 25 plus years ago,
whatever.
It was one of those X-Men alternate futures, but it was not the normal Days of Future Past things where Sentinels take over.
No, it was Apocalypse had taken over.
Apocalypse had taken over, and kind of all the characters or many of them were kind of turned on their ear. So, for instance, Blink was written as an original character in there.
Yeah.
She's a mutant who can dimensional teleport.
She came before that. It wasn't.
Oh, that's right. But it was a big.
She was a big lead.
This was a new version of her.
Yeah.
Everybody have like
Joe Madureira did all the looks, right? Didn't he? Was this Joe Madureira?
So they had a little bit of that manga influence.
Magneto was the leader.
Magneto's the leader
of the Resistance.
Xavier was killed.
Sabretooth was a good guy.
He was married to Rogue.
Who was Magneto was? Yeah. I forgot that the Magneto Rogue thing had more than just the Savage Land thing as a lead into it.
But there was a splinter. Like Wolverine was off with Jean. Scott and Havoc were.
I remember Cyclops has long hair in it.
Well, they were working for
Sinister.
Sinister. They were villains.
Bad guys. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so it's an era that tends to have some fun flipping everything on its ear, and also just being visually cool, but cool apocalyptic story. And Jeff Loeb does a pretty good job with this.
Yeah.
Well, it somehow has survived its
that's what I say.
explosion.
The central thing of this is that Magneto, he knows they're supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
He remembers the bomb.
Did this happen with the annuals with Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan?
I don't think
so. I think
because she was going to every event. I thought she changed that.
I read those and I don't recall it being the change.
Okay.
There's a mystery as to why they're still alive, and I think.
And there's
a character who tells them he knows why, and they're gonna do some time travel.
Will be revealed over time.
I like seeing this version of Morph. I always liked this kind of chaotic, anarchic.
He's a little
version.
of the genie from Aladdin.
Exactly.
But he was also that in Exiles. I wish we had Exiles back.
I know Exiles. Well, we are getting Exiles,
but it's not the real Exiles.
No, but
it's an Exiles in name only. I know. But this was a surprise. I did not expect to enjoy it.
And also the art is
really nice.
Really nice.
Good. I think in this, featured heavily in this first issue is like Rogue, Gambit, Blink, Morph, Sabretooth.
Don't forget
Magneto.
Magneto, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And anyway, and I think, Randy, you and I could say that it's like you remember more of it than I do. I didn't read it at all. I think this is fairly approachable, even if you didn't read the original ones.
Sure.
Just know that you're going into an alternate timeline, and you'll have fun.
The Undead Iron Fist. Danny Rand's dead again.
When last we saw him, they did this anniversary special. Like, the character's been around for 40 years,
and
now he's killed. But now we knew at the time that this was probably setting something up, and it's this.
But I will say, I thought they were going to do the whole, like, zombie, like, weird kind of Iron Fist. It's not this. I think it's something to do with the dragon has resurrected him in some way.
I mean, it's called the Immortal Iron
He's
Fist.
fighting demons that other people can't see.
Yeah.
He's got Miles Morales guest stars.
Is it because he's somewhere between life and unlife?
Maybe
perhaps?
so.
He's got a new costume.
Yeah, he's got like a cyber arm.
Well, I think it's like just armor, but it's like a dragon.
Okay.
Makes sense. He usually has a dragon punch arm.
Anyway, if you missed Iron Fist, there's a new Iron Fist miniseries.
Sure, dragon punch arm.
Edge of Venomverse. I swear they've already done an Edge of Venomverse.
I thought so too.
But this is an anthology with 8 different stories
Are they
about
building
various alternate world Venoms.
Is this kind of a build-up to Null's return, which is about to happen in All New Venom?
Maybe. I didn't read this one.
I didn't either. It's got
What's funny is like
It has a symbiote wearing a fedora, which I thought was kind of fun.
Sure.
as far back as is that like Venom Noir?
No,
so.
it's like a green one.
okay.
I don't. It's like the toxin version.
For me, at least, as far back as when Donny Cates did Venom, like what, maybe a decade ago, ish.
Was it really that long ago?
I think so. It's been a long time now. Long enough for a lot of spin-offs. Long enough for him to have been off the book for years now.
Yep.
Sure.
But I kind of started enjoying Venom again for the first time since he'd been like a villain in the early days of Spider-Man in his earliest days. But I kind of had checked out in the 90s and 2000s. And now, we've talked about this. We're all reading All New Venom. We're all liking Carnage.
Yep.
Or Eddie Brock Carnage, I guess, is specifically the one. And so I'm like, I guess depending on what happens, any given Venom project I might check out, depending on who's writing it.
Imperial War Nova Centurion is our Imperial War one-shot. This one is written by Jed McKay.
With the Jonathan Hickman.
With Jonathan Hickman. I think Jonathan Hickman basically gave the overview.
story.
He's like, do this, McKay.
This is. I mean, we're all fans of Nova from the early 2000s when they were doing.
This reminds me of like straight out of Annihilation.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with World Mind.
They heavily reference it. They talk about like their time in the Cancerverse, which one of the big storylines.
I'd forgotten about, honestly.
That was
cool.
primarily in. It wasn't.
It was after Conquest. It was when the.
It was the team that they.
It was
had.
after Conquest. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians, yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But with Nova in the storyline.
Yeah.
But yes, he's there. He is trying to, with World Mind in this, or
solve the equation.
Is it a backup version of World Mind?
It is. It's
the sort of supreme intelligence of the Kree Empire is trying to figure out who is behind all the events in Imperial. Now, I read this, and they say, and I don't want to say who it is. We're not going to blab it. But let me just ask: has that been revealed anywhere? But this
it was in
series?
It was in the last issue of the regular
I was thinking
Imperial.
I had seen that, but yes, basically it kind of like seems to lock that in. We don't know exactly all motivations and what's going on.
I will say I liked this issue. I don't like the reveal of the villains because it doesn't feel genuine.
Right.
I have a thought on that I'll tell you off mic, Nick. I generally agree with you, even if this is the case. But I kind of have a guess as to maybe how it came about and like why Hickman might be doing it.
Yeah.
New publisher Ignition Press. The editor in chief is Jamie Rich from Oni and Vertigo, I think is what the last was. The includes Philip Siblick from Boom, and one of the lead creators is Jeremy Hahn, who did The Beauty was the most recent thing. So it's a big creator-owned company. Their first book is called Murder Podcast, written by Jeremy Hahn, art by Mike Tisserand, which is really nice art. I like this a lot. It is basically some kind of mysterious podcast is causing people to go into a fugue state and murder people around them.
It just randomly appears on whatever device you listen to the podcast on. Nothing bad could happen if you read or listen to it. That's a fun premise, actually.
Yeah, it's a really good bloody first issue. It's a horror book, a lot of character stuff in it. I'm intrigued by it. I'm curious to see where they go with it.
Yeah.
Mad Cave has a new book called It Killed Everyone But Me.
It's a good title.
Written by Ryan Parrott, who's been doing a lot of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger stuff. It's nice looking art. I did not get a chance to read this one, but it looks like another good horror book. Nocturnals, the Dan Brereton his sort of painty pulp horror adventurer book.
Yeah, the way I put it when I was making the signs, it was like, what if the Addams Family were like pulp horror fighters?
Yeah. There's Doc Horror has twin guns. He has a zombie like bodyguard named Gunwitch.
Yep.
It's
I like my favorite character though is the raccoon guy.
Clean Hands.
Yeah. What's his full name?
I don't remember.
I feel like sometimes they just call him Raccoon, but he's a cool raccoon man in a trench coat who kicks some ass.
Yep, I think he owns a bar or something too.
It sounds like something he would do.
Anyway, yeah. Raccoon, aka Bandit.
Bandit, okay. But yeah, it's like if you've been following this series, it's been around off and on in miniseries since the 1990s, I believe.
I was gonna say I haven't seen this in forever.
But it disappears for years and years at a time.
If you've never read it, you could actually totally jump in on this. It gives you all the characters you need to know,
and it's Halloweeny time, and it's painted.
Yeah, for sure. Blue Falcon and Dynomutt, the latest Dynamite.
How edgy is this take on these fairly silly characers from the 70s?
I didn't get a chance to read this one, so I don't know.
I see blood splatter, so I'm going to assume kind of dark.
Because he was like a hero named Blue Falcon who was kind of, if memory serves, a bit of a Batman analog type guy, but like very hero Batman, not dark Batman. And Dynomutt was like this Inspector Gadget-esque robot dog who was like the source of also a lot of goofy humor on this show. Yep. This is one of those Hanna-Barbera shows.
Yep.
Naturally, since all things are being mined for nostalgia, and I'm not even necessarily saying that in a bad way because I've seen fun ones too. We like the Speed Racer book, like sometimes these things come off. But there it is.
This appears to be bloody. It appears maybe that Dynomutt is not bionic yet.
Oh, okay. We're going to see
and
how
it looks like he might get killed and turned into a bionic.
Oh no!
It's brutal. I don't like it.
He probably doesn't die.
He dies at the last. He dies in this book.
No,
I'm looking at it.
No, like RoboCop didn't die.
He did though. He famously actually died.
But they resurrected him. They used the powers.
I mean, they Frankenstein monstered him.
Yes.
Yeah. This isn't. What do you call it? What were the movies? The Final Destination movies where you're gone.
I think this is a darker Frankenweenie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I think you've hit on it.
Wow. Okay. Yep. Could be.
Finally, that's what people have been craving.
A darker Frankenweenie.
Nobody was hungering for that.
Speaking of nostalgia books, Mad Cave has Racer X, a spinoff from their Speed Racer.
It's written by Mark Russell, yeah.
Mark Russell writes, it is the origin issue of Racer X, which I know from the movies.
Right.
And it's pretty much that.
Yeah, he says the mysterious... It's the brother.
He's the brother, yes.
Speed. But for some reason he has to keep a secret identity.
Because he's been presumed dead.
Is it like he's hunted by...
He's hunted by the World Crime League or whatever else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have y'all ever been hunted by the World Crime League? It's rough.
I can't talk about it.
It's rough.
Every week.
Yeah.
There's a Star Wars one-shot from Dark Horse called Tales from the Nightlands. They like to do these...
little holiday things, yeah.
This is kind of fun. Padawan Anakin, who's maybe 12 or 13, and Obi-Wan go to this planet where a little girl is wanting to say goodbye to her grandfather, it's the Twi'leks.
Oh,
Ryloth. She's wanting to say goodbye to her grandfather who has died, and she's like, there's a legend about being able to talk to him through the spirit realms, and her mom's like, no, you can't do that, it's all mystery, and Anakin is like, I'll help you do it. And it goes wrong in a haunted ghost way.
That's pretty cool. I remember I was flipping through that and the art looked good in it.
It's fun. It's a good one-shot. I liked it.
Anakin, the worst Jedi ever.
Yeah. If you're looking... and also the best.
Arguably. Yeah.
If you need a bunch of younglings killed, Anakin will take care of it.
He's quite good at that.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was a fun first issue. Or first issue. Fun one-shot.
Standalone, yeah.
Halloween. There's a lot of Halloween this week.
Yeah,
it's September, I guess.
Yeah. You know what's nice? I actually kind of like them getting out some of these things a bit early.
Yeah.
Make sure that should schedules shift around a little bit, should an artist be late on something, it doesn't have to come out in November or December, and you're pretend it's still Halloween.
Transformers 24 is the wrap-up of Daniel Warren Johnson's run.
It's the finale. It's
basically Transformers the movie.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't. Like,
Right.
you don't want to say people like you're just rehashing it.
No.
But at some point, they use several of the iconic lines,
Yep.
and it kind of begins with Optimus Prime doing the "one shall stand, one shall fall."
Yep.
But it has that kind of gravitas, that kind
It
of
does.
like that big,
There's
those big moments.
stuff going on in it.
And
There's life and death of Transformers. What humans will live or die in this. Like, there's some big stakes and choices. Megatron's being very mean in it.
He's a horrible.
He's a horrible human being for a non-human being.
But he's not. He's a gun.
He's a horrible Cybertronian.
He's a bad gun.
And now we will see what Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora can do.
Yeah.
Dan
So,
Mora doing his fourth ongoing book right now.
Is there
crazy.
a gap between this and the start of that, or is it like
No, it's like next
1
month.
month from now
Yeah.
we will see Robert Kirkman's Transformers?
Yep.
That's going to be
Dan
crazy.
Mora's just like chained to a chair somewhere. Just you have to do art.
He's just typing into an AI engine, draw a Transformer like Dan Mora would. Watch for the sixth finger.
Or the SOS.
No, I shouldn't even joke about that with him. Dan Mora is an incredibly talented artist.
Yep.
He's way
he's amazing.
better than AI could ever conceivably be.
Just don't know how he's doing it.
My pick of the week, for sure, is Superman: The Kryptonite Spectrum #2.
It's really good.
It's a very strange book.
What's the indie comic that the people came
They
from?
do
Ice
the
Cream
Ice
Man.
Cream Man. It's W. Maxwell Prince, by the way. Very pretentious name, W. Maxwell Prince. And artist Martin Morazzo. This is like if All-Star Superman was a little weirder.
Yeah, it definitely it kind of both looks like it and has these sort of neo Silver Age vibes, which is to say, the plot is very Silver Age. Superman in each issue is kind of testing out some weird new kryptonite in it on himself. Although in this case, it kind of happens without him having to try it, and then everybody deals with the fallout. Now this one is interesting because it kind of has the Justice League in it.
Yep.
And the writer, I guess. It's an unusual Justice League, but not super weird though.
No.
And it's got like I'm trying to.
I think the weird inclusion is Atom Smasher.
Atom Smasher's in it.
Yep.
But there's also let's just say at some point you'll see Luthor in his armor.
Yep.
You'll see what I think is it John? Yeah, John Stewart, Green Lantern,
Yep.
Wonder Woman in there.
Yep.
There's a surprise character kind of at the end, which we're not going to say.
Yeah,
who.
I like that.
And a big old villain who I thought was drawn really cool, and I don't want to say who that one is either.
Yep.
But like, kind of what you're here for is the weird fun of it all. The kind of the big Silver Age things, and like at one point they're like, hey, maybe if we inject Superman with this kind of kryptonite, it'll flush out the other kind of kryptonite in his system. They're like, that probably won't be a problem, right? There's some crazy stuff in here, but it's so fun.
Good idea, bad idea.
Almost every page, I feel like, has some neat idea. There's a funny running gag with this person who's like a financial advisor or something
Yes,
like
who
that.
forgot to save her work.
Who forgot to save her work. It's somehow is a weird running gag in this, and I
The
appreciate
Jon
just
Stewart belittling was
the sheer weirdness of it. Yes.
Yeah.
The way Superman handles the villain at the end, this crazy thing that I'm pointing to now, but I won't say over the air, is insane in a Silver Agey way, but I loved it.
This creative team is very creative.
Yeah, so among other things, Superman, by the way, literally grows giant in this. It's one of those kind of old school 50s things, like, when he would get hit with the red can.
But he doesn't want to scare anybody. He's like...
He's trying to be a Powell giant, but there's some problems related to it that it doesn't quite work out. But I was going to say, I love how the artist draws it. The sense of scale when he breaks up through the Fortress of Solitude's top. Like, the artist just had fun drawing that. You can tell.
Yep.
Oh, the cover alone. I love the scale on that.
Yeah. They're at the tiny heroes are at Superman crotch level.
It's true. They are.
Giant Superman crotch level.
Second issue of Godzilla Kaisei era. This is the people, sort of superpowered people up against Godzilla.
Yep. So there's an interesting thing in this where I don't think revealing too much, but they essentially uncover some parasites that were on Anguirus, whatever the turtle.
Anguilla?
Yeah, sure.
like that.
I don't know. The sort of one of the minor monsters from Godzilla that showed up in the first issue. And they're like, oh, this thing... They're like, the reason we were able to drive off that creature in the first one, we think is because these weird parasites were weakening him. And they get, loose in their base, and they're having to fight him and stuff, and they're big they're like, the size of a dog, but they're like crazy, like wormy, creepy Cthulhu-looking things. And then they're like, wait, don't kill it. Maybe we can use this. If it weakens him so much that we could take him, could we use it on Godzilla? And there's an interesting plot developing.
It seems like something Guillermo del Toro would do.
I mean, when we talked about this has elements of the sort of apocalyptic Pacific Rim element stuff. And then there's, again, there's character soap opera stuff. There's some angst. There's some infighting. There's, good team stuff. But yeah, it's fun.
We also have Supergirl number 5. This is Sophie Campbell does not do the art on this one. It's
but the art is really good.
The art is really cute.
The way this is a Super Pets issue.
It's a Super Pets issue.
And the her sort of rival frenemy. What's her character's name?
Oh, I forget her name.
But she has like a sort of slightly evil pet rabbit.
Yep.
And the way this rabbit is drawn in this issue is incredibly cute. It is just like a little pudgy little. Enemy it is both teaming up with Crypto in its scenes and also like hating Crypto, but then like when they're fighting like this giant shark creature, the rabbit's like, only I get to beat up Crypto. He's my enemy, and so they end up forming an alliance reluctantly, and then kind of becoming friends, and it's very adorable. This rabbit is the best.
I like that the Super Pets, none of them talk. They all see their thought bubbles.
Yeah, that is the old Silver Age tradition of how they did it. And Sophie Campbell is truly paying homage.
This is a lot of fun. I really like this I've been enjoying this book anyway.
Yep.
This is a fun interstitial issue.
Yeah, I think I was telling you, Randy, I caught up as of maybe the previous issue, where they, even though this is kind of like sort of squeaky clean white bread Midvale, there is sort of a sense that Supergirl, when she came back, kind of hasn't seen that it has progressed a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's like a goth club there, and that they go to. And I was like, okay, this is like Sophie Campbell kind of voicing her interest, which is, I think her books tend to be most fun when that comes through a bit.
Yeah.
And while at the same time it is a very throwback thing, sort of Silver and Bronze Agey. And that I finally kind of made my peace with that sort of weird mix, and I'm really liking it.
Yep. Welcome to the team, Dave.
Yep. I am quite possibly going to pick up the trade paperback of that when it comes out.
Batman Gotham by Gaslight: A League for Justice. Really enjoying this book. Nick, you didn't get a chance to read this week.
No, I did not.
I know you really liked the first one.
Yeah, I
did.
It was great.
They're doing some really fun. Basically, it's just a Justice League story but it's set in sort of the 1800s steampunk. They've got a really interesting take on Krypton. They've got Zod and Luthor. They've got Martian Manhunter, Batman, but all very different.
And everybody wears a vest.
Really well done. Everybody wears a vest. Captain America number 3 by Chip Zdarsky. This is Cap throws down with Doom in Latveria in an interesting way.
Following up on the interesting sequence that, at the end of the previous issue, I don't think we revealed it at the time, but they come face to face, and Doom is like, instead of being like, how dare you get into my castle or whatever, he's like, Captain America, he's like, I'm a longtime admirer of yours. And here he discusses, they're like, there is both action, but there is also kind of extended conversation where he's like, I actually have a certain fondness for you, and took inspiration from you when Latveria, Latveria fought in World War II. They discuss some of these things which are not generally talked about. Like, oh well, what did Latveria do then? Doom mentions like having a sort of admiration for America, but in kind of his own way.
Yeah.
He appreciates their sort of upstart nature, and at the same time, he still says something like. He's like, you aspire to power. He's like, Doom is power. Yeah. And so he's got some very Doom stuff going on.
For sure.
And there's the interesting asides that's very much about kind of, I would say, the difficulties of modern warfare and the politics behind it, too. So it's interesting.
Then you jump into modern times, and One World Under Doom number 7. Some of his propaganda has collapsed, and now all the super teams are battling Doom. So this is a lot of Doom fighting, Doom and his Tyrannosaurus Doom fighting a lot of superheroes.
Okay.
They're
time to
gonna
punch things.
They're going to make a toy of that. The
sure.
Tyrannosaurus
Where
Doom.
do they haven't so far?
There's also the conclusion of Superior Avengers, a Doom tie-in, and another issue of Red Hulk, which I'm kind of digging Red Hulk.
Is it still a prison story, or did they resolve
No,
that
they're out of prison now,
okay.
But they're still being hunted by Doombots. He's built up a little team around himself. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
And then we got Star Wars Jedi Knights #7. Dave, I know you were reading this.
Yeah, do you mind handing me that? The previous issue was a really good one, I thought, one of the best of the series, but it ended with Qui-Gon getting poisoned, and in this they are trying to figure out how to get access to an antidote to keep him alive. There's... I can't remember, I think... There's some kaiju on this planet, and they may reference the one that goes back to the Clone Wars animated series. At the very least, it references some previous Star Wars comic. But basically, this issue is a team-up between Mace Windu and Aayla Secura, and continues to be good. I think this is one of the best Star Wars comics that they've had in a while. So I'm recommending it. I thought it was only a 6-issue miniseries, and here we are on issue 7.
So barely not.
So it's at least, I would guess, a 12-issue thing, if not an ongoing, and I didn't know it was an ongoing. But it's good.
Other single issues? Did you have anything else?
No. Did we mention Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion?
Did not.
Just a 4th issue of that, I guess?
Yep.
That's moving right along.
Leading to the Maker's return.
Is the Maker not around?
No, he's been in
prison
or something.
Okay.
But they know he's coming back.
Yeah.
I saw that Magik is in this, and what I was trying to figure out, and do not know because I am not reading the Ultimate books, is that Magik from the 616 universe?
No, it's from the Ultimate Universe. She's evil.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
I thought she would look different. She looks like normal Magik.
She and the Rasputin or Colossus, they're like one of the families who ruled the world.
Okay. Well, I mean, she is a person who she dabbles in evil, even in the regular 616 universe. So I'll allow it.
Graphic novels this week: Black Canary, Best of the Best, the Tom King Black Canary connected hardcover.
Yep.
A couple of Red Band books, both Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, and Daredevil Unleash Hell. This is the Elektra as Daredevil one.
Yep.
And Blade Red Band. Those are both collected this week.
Okay.
Brzrkr Book One. That's a collection of the first 12 issues of Keanu Reeves.
Book.
Magik Volume 1. Speaking of Magik, it's her first collection.
Yep.
Spectators hardcover, which is a book about sex and death from Brian Vaughan and Nico Henrichon.
For people who haven't seen him in a little while, Brian Vaughan has wrote such hit series as Saga and Runaways and Why the Last Man.
Yep.
Is this the same creative team as Pride of Baghdad?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is it's interesting. It's from the point of view of ghosts, and they're watching, and they're sort of being voyeurs in the future, watching the world around them. And so they're ghosts from different times.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting book and really pretty. I did get a chance to read the preview copy a while back. And then a very strange manga called Sanda, Volume 1, which is set in a world where children are expected to work or something, so they can't have the frivolity of Santa, and yet one of them summons the spirit of a sexy Santa Claus.
He's like a daddy Santa, a zaddy. So
it's wild.
It's manga will do these kind of things.
Sure.
And that's just Tuesday for them. That's not weird.
All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back and talk about some trailers and some news. All right, we got a few trailers to talk about, a couple bits of news. We'll start with the trailers. Let's go in sort of reverse order here.
Okay.
Talk about 28 years later, The Bone Temple, the second of what is planned to be a 3-movie trilogy if the second movie does well enough to make it worthwhile.
Right. The original 28 Days Later movie had a sequel, which I don't know if it's kind of being quietly ignored or what, but they did 28 weeks later.
We are definitely in the minority on that one who hate it, because it actually has a pretty good review.
Are we? Because everybody I know hates it.
Well, when I looked at it, I could have sworn...
Rotten Tomatoes?
I could have sworn it had like a 66 or like 70%.
I mean, 66 and 70, that is very different. Anything below 60 is usually not...
It is 73% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is surprising to me, because it is a terrible movie.
It definitely, felt like, did not compare to the original 28 Days Later, which I feel like one of the great sort of modern horror movies.
I see. It's a 66% among audiences.
But it's also, I think, doesn't fit into the thing, because wasn't this an American, wasn't that in America?
No.
No, it was set in England.
Was it set in England?
They were still going back into, like, the walled city and stuff like that.
Because I know it had, like, Jeremy Renner and a bunch of, like, other, like, just American people in it.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't remember the details, but it was
Harold Perrineau.
maybe this was like It was like Americans trying to help their British.
The
buddies.
U.S. Army, yeah, American soldiers show it.
But anyway, and so now then it kind of there was like I don't know what 10 or 15 years with none of these movies, and then suddenly Danny Boyle is doing not just one but a trilogy follow up, and we will perhaps revisit. Randy and I talked about 28 Years Later a few months ago. And you just saw it.
I just watched it this weekend.
And so we're going to talk about that, I think, later?
Or just now.
Just now.
Oh, okay.
I watched it,
right?
We all liked it, yeah. I think it was one of my favorite movies I've seen this year, and it's been a good year for movies.
Well, I watched it back-to-back with 28 Weeks Later. Or no, 28 Days Later.
Yeah. And how did they compare to you, Nick?
I think they're exceptional films. But and it goes against type for me because I don't like zombies, but
explicitly not a big zombie guy.
But these... I don't know. My brain has a hard time classifying them as zombie films.
Right, and not because of the technical detail, I think, of, they're infected with rage.
No.
But, are you talking about, they just don't play out the way most zombie movies? They don't play out,
what you would expect zombies. Yes, in the 28 Days Later, there's kind of the...
It was, right at the same time that Dawn of the Dead remake came out, they were, the two fast-moving zombie stories.
Yeah, but I feel like there's so much that sets it apart from Dawn of the Dead.
These ones don't eat people. They rage virus tear you apart.
It's true.
Well, they might bite you.
Well, it's mainly they're just trying to infect you and then make you become one of them.
Right. But it seems to happen on this kind of instinctive level. They're just clawing and tearing at you.
Yeah.
And all it needs is one drop of their blood to get into your system.
Yep.
Including as dramatically occurs, it could even just be like a drop of blood gets into your eye.
I'd forgotten how it started. The opening of with the animal rights people breaking into a...
They find a place where... And this is very... You know how zombie stories, sometimes they explain things and sometimes they don't. This explains it, but they explain it in a way that's kind of borderline magical. Because the idea is that you see this poor ape that's being experimented on, or monkey.
Well, it's a bunch of monkeys.
Right, but you see specifically, it zeroes in to show what's happening. It's strapped into this chair, and it's like the Clockwork Orange sort of thing.
Kind of the despair of humanity.
Its eyes are held open, and it's seeing all the worst of war and torture and
But that's not the one that bites him.
And they say that what they're doing is it seems like they have somehow managed to distill rage into a formula or something like that, and that has infected these test subjects. They free these apes or these monkeys, and one of them bites one of them people, and that guy is instantly infected, and is seconds later he's in rage mode,
and it's over.
This is not one of those a few hours later when you die or whatever you become it. Nah, you got seconds.
But then it's kind of post-apocalyptic from there on. It
had the same premise, and I think slightly beat Walking Dead of person wakes up from a coma and the world has already changed.
Yeah,
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. What a great early breakout movie for him. I don't think it's literally his first, but it was one of his breakouts.
Well, and then the female lead in that she's the one who plays Moneypenny in the...
Yep, and Valkyrie.
And Valkyrie.
I believe.
It's not Tessa Thompson.
No.
It's the woman who plays Moneypenny in the Bond movies.
She was going to be Agent 355.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, she is fantastic in it, and there's the character actor who plays the dad of the girl.
Mad-Eye Moody.
What is that actor's name?
Brendan Gleeson.
It is
Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah. He is amazing in his... He's always amazing in even the small roles. But yeah, it is a survivor story that is extremely sympathetic and is...
But Boyle brings a very human look to his ideas.
Yeah.
Because I think the moments of tenderness and humanity that he's able to evoke, I think is what really kind of captivates me. There's a scene in a supermarket. It's set to a fun song.
Yeah.
But it's them kind of this joyful, we get to eat something that's not tin can.
Or even the scene, there's a scene I remember later on where they're I think sort of staying at a place that's like a Stonehenge type place.
Yep.
And maybe when it's on their way there, and you see these kind of slow motion shots of like a herd of deer or something like that.
Yep.
And the music is, I think, kind of melancholy, but there is maybe a sense of maybe whatever happens to us, life is going to go on, and it's got these sort of moments of that are very beautiful, which is weird to see in a zombie type story.
Mm-hmm. And then 28 Years Later came around, and I was kind of apprehensive about it. I was like, I don't know, I hadn't watched the 28 Days Later forever.
It's pretty rare you can recapture the magic of something like what that came out in 2001. We're talking about a quarter of a century later.
Yeah,
and instantly from the opener, I was locked in.
Yeah, well, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the tense opening sequence that he directed for 28 weeks
exactly.
later as the handoff.
Robert Carlyle.
Yeah, very intense opening to it, and he can absolutely bring a tense sequence. In fact, Randy, we talked about this afterwards. There are multiple sequences in 28 Years Later where I felt like after the sequence ended, I had to take a breath. Mm-hmm. I was just like, oh, wow. Yeah. That was a lot. That was intense.
But it was also the world building. I mean, he basically created what happens on,
So you want to tell us what that opening was? Just what happens in that to 28
Oh,
years
it's
later?
just basically the beginning of the Rage virus, about a young boy.
Right.
Oh, a whole
Not literally
family.
the beginning, the one in the laboratory, but the early stages of it breaking out into the populace.
Exactly, and it's...
But it's clearly something was already going on because somebody tells them kids just watch the TV. There's some kids in a farmhouse.
It had already been
kind of.
It had been kind of, I think...
They know something's wrong.
Something's wrong, things are going, and then it attacks their town.
Yeah, but it's told from, if I'm not mistaken, the camera doesn't necessarily go outside the house during that. You just know that the kids are left alone, and then you watch them watching TV like Teletubbies or something.
Yep, Teletubbies.
And you know, of course, that something is going to happen, but there's this kind of painful tension, and then suddenly somebody comes running back in, and they're like, then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, all hell breaks loose. You focus in on a child and meet his father, who is a crazy nutjob priest.
Okay,
who
that's right.
believes he's going to be the second coming. I don't know. It was weird.
I forgot that. Yeah.
But then it kind of goes into what happens after the virus, 28 years later, and I just think it's a really interesting look at what happens to England.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. It's not so much England as we know kind of England falls. But
it's militarized. It's an isolation. You can't go there, and if you do, you're screwed. You're not allowed.
Nobody will be going in to help you.
No. But it's how society has continued on that place, specifically in kind of a unique area where
there's an island.
It's an island that is connected only within low and high tide.
What do they call that thing? That kind of bridge?
No,
it's something like that. But anyway, it's a bridge that, during high tide is covered, during low tide you could walk across.
Right.
So there's points, and they have a sort of a walled off area of the island so that they have bows. They've kind of returned, which I think was a callback to the England's history with the longbow.
Oh, there's intercut pieces.
They actually showed you was it old movies that had
it was medieval military tactics and them using bow and arrows and things like that. Yeah. It was very cleverly done.
So they have this intense guard over the bridge, so in case anything does try to cross, but they only have to kind of watch it during the low tide.
But then it becomes a coming of age story for a young boy. Kind of
there's a sort of tough love thing that happens because his dad takes him across, and he's like, well, you're of age. What is he, 12 or something?
He's younger than he should be.
Yeah. Is it around 12?
Yeah.
And he's like, we're going to go on, a hunt.
To make you a man.
To make you a man. But I'll say this. He is doing it the way I saw it, at least. I think you saw it a somewhat harsher view of the dad.
I did.
But I'm like, this is what the people on the island do.
Yeah.
It's not like he was he's not a tough love, cruel guy. In fact, he even lies afterwards because his son did panic when it initially happens. They're great shots, but he panics. But when they come back, he says he wasn't scared for a second. Yeah. He's kind of building him up because the whole village shows up as a party for the kid. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that sequence where they're they have to these infected run fast.
Yeah, they do.
And so they're coming, and you have to fire at moving targets, and they've got to be pretty good at that.
I just thought that this was an exceptional film. I think there are lots of twists and turns I wasn't expecting, or ideas that they put into play. Ray Fiennes is amazing.
Without spoiling the biggest things, what were the things that surprised you most? What's Ray Fiennes' deal?
Well, he's a doctor, or was a doctor.
Right.
And he has become something...
a
kind
shaman?
of a shaman, yeah. But the idea of it, and kind of his...
It's interesting because they showed somebody who'd lost it, but who had not lost it in a violent, I'm going to murder people way. He lost it in a kind of humane way.
Yeah, it's just... and kind of the evolution of the quote unquote zombies.
Yep.
There's even
something
there
happening with the infected.
So this new trailer for Bone Temple, it looks bonkers.
Which, by the way, the Bone Temple was something we saw in 28 years later. That was like this area of like he would like collect and preserve and like melt down the flesh off of he had an oven or something like that. The flesh off of skulls, collect them and create these giant mounds. So this, like you said, very shamanic kind of thing. But he also had doctor skills, and he seems kind of wise.
Yeah. And this new movie is written by Alex Garland.
Yep.
It is going to,
like the previous ones.
It is an idea by Danny Boyle.
Yep.
But Nia DaCosta is going to step into the director's chair. I really enjoyed
DaCosta, Candyman revised.
Did you guys
the Marvels?
Did you watch the Candyman?
I did, and I kind of liked it.
I thought it was good.
It.
I thought it was really good.
I have not seen it.
So I'm curious.
And Marvels, which was like a much more mainstream thing, that had the one that had Captain Marvel and Photon and all those people.
Yeah.
And Kamala Khan.
I'm curious to see what this kind of petri dish of different takes, because Alex Garland and Danny Boyle have a very unique,
the last time they
style.
shared the universe was a movie we didn't like.
Correct.
28 weeks later.
But this trailer seems to capture that kind of frenetic insanity.
It felt like the 28 years later, which we all liked.
Yeah. Well, I think I gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah. It's surprisingly ambitious when they came back. And it had, like, by the way, a bonkers what happens next ending.
Yes, it did.
It's so crazy.
Yes, it did.
Like, you might almost think, like, did I walk into the wrong movie for that scene?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't expecting that to be the final scene.
Yeah.
No.
I was like,
Who would?
What?
I don't know how you would see that
And
coming.
we've just been discussing off mic there are some weird survivors that are seen in the end, and they have a very specific look.
Yep.
And we thought, Rainey and I had looked it up and had discovered it was kind of one thing, like a sort of well-known look that UK people would probably know about.
Yeah.
And then you pointed out something else, Nick, and now I was like, oh, this is interesting. This might have a deeper sort of intent than I expected it to. And I guess I don't want to say what it is, though. I think it's a pretty it'll be interesting to see it play out. But also the evolution of the zombies, which there was something. This has been something I've seen as far back as in the 80s. They made George Romero made Day of the Dead. Mm-hmm. Now, I haven't seen it since the 80s, but what I remember is that there's a zombie in captivity. I think they named Bud. Have you ever seen
this?
Yes.
Yes.
He's like chained up to a wall. And he begins to kind of relearn things. Like, he's got some primitive understanding. He can open a door. He can do some other things. And so, as far back as the 80s, I've seen the idea that zombies might evolve. And, Romero, very impressively, the guy who kind of created the modern genre, was already there for it. But Boyle has some interesting things that seemed almost more primordial.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he's doing with it. There is that giant hulking zombie that you see multiple times and they tell you about them. There's at least 2 different kind of breeds of zombie that have been infected that show up.
Some creepy ones.
But exactly what he means to do with them or to let other writers play with, I don't know. And it's kind of exciting because there's a lot of thought going into these movies.
I regret not seeing it in theaters, so I will definitely go see the Bone Temple when it hits January.
Nick. We tried to talk
I know you did, but I was just not.
You were like,
in the
it's
mood.
a zombie thing.
It's a zombie thing, and I hadn't. But I will go see
so
this.
when the new one comes out, we got to go see it, and I hope that they don't screw it up.
Yeah. By the way, do we want to talk about the trailer at all? Just that it's weird.
It's very much a mood trailer. You do see that hulking zombie again,
but it also does include those
the characters.
The characters from the end.
Ray Fiennes looks like he's going to play a lead role, prominent role.
Well, it seems like we're going to get his backstory a little bit.
Yeah,
like actual seeing it, not just in show, and kind of. Which will be interesting. I think Ray Fiennes is one of those actors that is just incredible.
He's a next level actor. It's also, by the way, this is one of those trailers that's borderline teaser trailer in the sense that it was kind of like a mood, like that first one that had the poem where there's like a British soldier counting off their steps and stuff like that. And it's like that one. It's very kind of memorable and unsettling. Yep. There is some creepy looking masked people that look like they're taking people and, I don't know, torturing them or something that. I couldn't quite tell, but there's some disturbing imagery. There's a little bit of, I guess, I want to say the trademark sort of thoughtful and beautiful and weird and melancholy imagery of these movies, but
and there's some infected ripping people apart. And
some infected ripping people apart.
Yep.
I did not know I needed these movies back in my life, but
yeah, it's kind of like where I was with Scream, Nick, where I was like, oh, turns out I like this concept.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just the evolution of it.
Yeah.
Because it kind of gets billed as a zombie film, but Boyle definitely has a more ambitious idea.
And Garland, even though I'm not always his biggest fan elsewhere, I have to admit he has ambition and some strong craft.
I had to look online at some Reddit threads, and people were bitching about, where did my zombie movie go? And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
This was also
a great zombie movie. Like, their versions is scary.
It is.
Intense. Like, yeah.
By the way, it reminded me in a roundabout way of one of my favorite episodes of my favorite horror podcast, Knife Point Horror. Did you ever listen to this one, Nick? It's called Undead. And it's his own take on a zombie horror thing.
No, you've told me about it, and I do want to listen to it. Much of the
story, before it kind of gets to how zombies become a reality, is told from the perspective of the cinematographer for somebody who would be like a Werner Herzog.
Okay.
Like an art house director.
Yeah.
Who, as unlikely as it is, directs 3 zombie movies that have artistic ambition and are described in some detail as to what's in them and like why they connected with both audiences and critics. And it's told from the perspective of the cinematographer who's like, well, I don't think we should revisit it. I don't think there's much more to say. But then when you hear the plot that the guys come up with, I'm like, that's actually a cool idea. And it's kind of like these 28 Days Later movies.
Okay.
Like, you should definitely listen to it.
I will.
I think you'd be impressed. And everybody should listen to it. Knife Point Horror, the episode is Undead.
We got the trailer, Wake Up Dead Man, the third Knives Out movie.
Yep.
Yes.
I was a little let down by this.
Oh, really? Because I'm very intrigued by it, and I think it being a little less quippy, which may have been one of the things you didn't like as much about it, was kind of one of the things I did like about it. And I think there's actually going to be some... I mean, there was laughs in the trailer. There was...
I think at this point, Rian Johnson knows that's
going off doing his thing.
Yeah, I will like it a lot. I mean, Rian Johnson has never let me down.
But I also think he wanted a trailer, I suspect at least, that looked a little different from the rest, so you didn't kind of feel like, oh, it's kind of him doing the thing he does.
He wants to try to change things up a little bit. I don't think you're going to get away from this.
I've heard some friends, or some people I know, and I've seen some reviews that people did not like Glass Onion, thought it was like a weaker sophomore effort. I love Glass Onion. I thought Glass Onion was as good as Knives Out.
I definitely thought it was a weaker sophomore effort.
Yeah, I've seen people saying like, "Oh, this looks like Return to Form." I'm like, "Oh, I don't need it to be anything else." I was perfectly happy with what we got.
Well, I think when someone does a series of mysteries, inevitably there will be like the one or two that you're not as into. And so, in a way, I think it's like not a big issue. Like, and we don't even know if this trailer like is exactly the tone it's going to strike.
Right, yeah.
But so people know, it looks like it's a mystery set in and around is it like a church, a monastery.
Yeah, Monsignor dies, played by Josh Brolin, dies.
Yep. And it's kind of a mystery. He has gone back into the.
He goes into a closed room that's like a sarcophagus kind of thing.
Something like that. And like 30 seconds later or a minute later, he's dead. And so this has lots of priests, religious imagery. Church is...
Why Benoit Blanc is there, we don't know.
We don't know. There's still there's clearly an ensemble cast in the tradition of whodunits.
Like Glenn Close and Jeremy Brenner.
Yep.
Who plays from the Sherlock...
Oh, it's Hot Priest. Andrew something.
Yeah, he's great.
Yep.
This is going to be good. And I'm glad that Netflix is going to put it in theaters for a while.
Me too. I definitely want to see it in theaters.
I'm going to go see it in theaters because I would like for them to do that.
I believe at this point, have I seen all of them? Wait, did the original come in theater?
The original did a weekend showing.
Did we see it in theaters?
I saw it in theaters.
I feel like I saw it.
It was hard to get tickets,
but maybe I didn't. Maybe I just saw it on Netflix or whatever. I'll have to go back and look at social media and stuff and see if I can remember. But
I'm excited for this. I love Daniel Craig. I love this character that he's created. I'm down.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I know I saw it in theaters because I remember taking someone to see it on my second viewing there first.
Okay.
It was specifically a rainy night at the Alamo Draft House Lake Lion area, and we were almost late and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it was for sure for that one. So I definitely did. I've seen them all in theaters. I will see them all in theaters. But yeah, I kind of like him doing something different now, since each one has some sort of little bit of scathing and sly social critiques.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay, we're bringing the church into it. Let's do this thing.
I mean, Don Johnson alone in the first one.
Yeah. What else do we have, Randy?
House of Dynamite. This was the
This is Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow's new
Right.
nuclear.
She hasn't made a movie in a little while. I guess
Yeah.
Hurt Locker was
There was
probably...
No,
something
she made
after
something out of
that.
her. She made Zero Dark 30.
Oh, right. She made Zero
So
Dark Thirty.
here's the thing. I really like Catherine Bigelow as a director, but I'm starting to wonder if she leans right.
Well, she's often
think
done
she's-
stories about the military.
But I think she tackles them in interesting ways.
I really liked the Bond. What is the Bond disposal movie you just
Hurt
said?
Locker.
I really liked Hurt Locker. I've only seen it once. I've never gone
Yeah.
back to it.
You know what? A few months ago, I think, is there a notable scene in Hurt Locker, or is this Zero Dark 30, where there's people hiding out from a sniper in the desert?
I believe that's Hurt Locker, if I'm not mistaken.
I watched just that scene, and it's a really good scene.
Well, she's a great...
She goes back to, what, the
Direct.
80s?
Yeah.
Did she direct Near Dark?
She did.
Yes.
And also, maybe she just produced it, but what was the one with the thing with Ray Fiennes in the future?
Strange Days.
Did
She
she
did.
direct Strange
She did
Days?
direct that, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, she kind of picks and chooses her projects. She was associated with it and produced for James Cameron, and I think she's associated a little bit with both his kind of like macho vibe,
Yeah.
kind of guy movie-ish type
Mm-hmm.
things, knowledge of the military, guns, and all that kind of stuff too. But you know how in the same way, James Cameron is like a guy who would probably be like, yeah, my heart is with soldiers and stuff. You watch Aliens, and you're like, he has his heart is with these Marines, but he's also kind of a hippie too. The Avatar movies kind of bear that out, and he is. And I think this is kind of, weren't they a romantic couple?
They were married.
Yeah, they were married. And so I think they may share that in different ways. And I think the way it shows for her is she's. I think this is a movie that's, even though it's just a teaser trailer, clearly concerned about nuclear war.
Well, you said it was quoting... What was the piece?
Carl Sagan has a sort of a spoken word thing he did, I think in Cosmos, the original Cosmos series, but it was later reprinted on its own as a book, almost like a poem. It's called Pale Blue Dot. And it's based on the photograph taken by I think Voyager as it was leaving like the outer. It's the farthest shot ever taken of Earth. It's like from as far out as like Jupiter or maybe even farther. And Earth is just like a pixel, the pale blue dot that's described in it. And in his description of it, he says like every person who ever fell in love, every person who ever died, every war that was ever fought was all over this little pixel. And he's like, it's also the only place we have. It may be the only place we'll ever have, and we have to like basically take care of it, or because it's all we're ever going to get. And so it's this thoughtful, meditative piece. It's very beautifully written, and they use some of it over this, and it's because it's concentrating on a world that we can all still destroy ourselves.
Well, apparently, I had to look up the log line because I was curious. I know this premiered at like one of the film festivals recently. Yeah, I'm sure it was. And, well, I think that, and maybe Venice as well.
Okay.
I think it got some mixed reviews, but the logline is, it follows the U.S. government official response to a single nuclear missile launched by an unidentified enemy.
Huh.
Kind of the chaos of like, are we retaliating? Are we
right?
Who did this? Is it terrorists? Is it Russia? Is it?
And it's starring. I mean, the cast is pretty amazing, but it looks like it focuses on Rebecca Ferguson and Idris Elba, Jared Harris, Anthony Ramos.
She generally elicits pretty strong performances from people.
I mean, this trailer's tense.
I don't know her politics, but I think being against nuclear war is a general probably good thing. I could back that for anybody.
No, I'm for it. Let's do it.
Oh, well, we've learned something in this podcast. We didn't say at the beginning that we were going to be talking about the end of all things.
Well,
nuclear
by
destruction.
our usual standards, I love nuclear war.
Right.
One of you guys is okay about it, and one of you hates it.
I do like Fallout.
Yeah. So Nick hates nuclear war. You like it, and I love it. I love nuclear war.
I'm met on nuclear war.
So, well, Idris Elba plays the president. So,
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay.
which That's cool.
Didn't he just play an action president?
He did.
He played the
Prime
He was actually Prime Minister. He's going to play every head of state.
Yeah, that's very
If you
exciting.
haven't watched Head of State, it's a dumb movie. It was a lot of fun.
I have not watched Head of State, and I believe you.
Nick, it's in that White House down style, right?
It's even goofier than that, but I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay.
But it's John Cena. I love John Cena.
I believe you that it's dumb.
I believe that if you watched it, if you gave it a chance,
you've seen the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh, I've watched
to,
dumb movies.
You have to sit down on this one.
I'm not saying he's wrong. I don't know that I believe it'll be fun for me. I know for sure.
You
it'll be
liked
dumb.
Red One, and this is
I did like
this
Red
is
One.
better than Red
And Red
One.
One's not great.
But this is, by the way, the for the Catherine Bigelow thing. What's it called again?
It is called House of Dynamite.
House of Dynamite.
Which, by the way, don't build your house out of that.
No.
Sticks are good. Stone is better. Dynamite is bad.
Shouldn't you, as the nuclear war person, be in favor of the House of Dynamite?
No, I don't. I'm not a Dynamite War fan.
Oh, I see.
Go big or go home.
Randy, I believe that's like a sort of an allegory kind of thing. It's like a symbolic.
I don't know what allegory has to
You're
do
like
with
nuclear or nothing.
anything. Nuclear or nothing.
Anyway, this is like more of a teaser trailer. It's mood. It's showing tense scenes. At some point,
it's
you see
intriguing.
some missiles launching. So there's not a lot to tell other than it looks like it's serious business.
And it's going to have a 2-week window in theaters, just like the Wake Up
Knives
Dead
Out.
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
So the final one is Dust Bunny. This was the trailer I think I was, other than 28 Years Later, the one I was really interested in because it's Brian Fuller.
Yep.
I really like Brian Fuller stuff.
I mean, Pushing Daisies. And, was it Dead Like Me?
Dead Like Me, Wonder Falls.
I never watched Wonder Falls.
Wonder Falls is a lot of good.
I don't think I've ever seen anything of his
Hannibal.
at length. So I don't know
Hannibal.
quite where I stand on him, other than I know that he did help launch Star Trek Discovery, and some of the things that I know that he added in that were his thing in it were things I kind of didn't like.
What's funny is I honestly think if he had done Discovery, it would have been a better show. But I don't think it was commercially viable.
Maybe so, but he was the one who was like super into the mushroom thing.
Yeah.
And like
It was going to be weirder. Brian
was gonna
Fuller
be
is a
weirder,
weird guy.
yeah.
And this is a weird movie.
Yeah.
This is about a little girl who she thinks there's a monster under her bed. The monster kills her mom and dad.
Yep.
So she goes to her next door neighbor who's an assassin, played by Mads Mikkelsen, to hire him to kill the monsters. And he's like, there's no such thing as monsters. These people were after me. They killed your parents. And so we don't really know what is true. Are
Right.
there monsters? Are there just assassins?
there's sort of surreal imagery in this, but I don't know if it's like the kids just the way she lends
Yeah.
it or what. I feel like I'm not quite sure what. I mean, if this is just a hey, people are the real monsters. Like, I hope it goes deeper than that.
I think
It
it'll
will.
go. It
It will.
will. Fuller is pretty good.
So I've been told.
And Mads Mikkelsen is a great lead. It looks like Sigourney Weaver is going to play some role.
like his handler?
Yeah, it seems that way. And then, as maybe the antagonist is David Dastmalchian.
Yes. Well, maybe, although he might have been another guy.
It might just be another
that
guy.
guy's making the rounds.
He
everywhere.
is. He is like he is.
He's
in
a good
everything.
actor.
He's great.
He's proven it.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one. I like Fuller. I'm not sure what movies he's done. If he's only done TV,
I think he's only done TV. I don't
Yeah,
think
so
this
we'll
is
see.
his directorial movie debut.
And then we got a couple bits of news related to movie and TV. One is that Fede Alvarez, the director who did Alien Romulus, is not going to return for the Alien Romulus sequel. This is a bummer.
It is. I have a feeling he is why I liked Alien Romulus.
I was thinking the same thing. The thing is, I really liked it. I was surprised how
like
much
it
I
had a
liked
good
it.
script. Like
Yeah.
I think the script was good.
So he said,
but like a lot. I don't know how much it all came together.
so he worked on the script.
Okay,
He's going to produce it, and they're looking for a new filmmaker to come in and direct it. So it could
that
still
could work out.
Yeah.
You know what I need to see is I need to see at some point Creed 2 and 3 because I really liked original Creed by Ryan Coogler.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved it. And that was kind of what happened, I believe, with 2 and 3, which is he like produced, played a role in, but did not direct.
I think Coogler did the second one, and then the
I don't
third.
think he did the second.
And then the third one was Michael B. Jordan, who actually.
You looking it up,
directed
Randy?
Yep.
I need an answer
Yeah, so
because I would have jumped at the second one if he had directed that. I thought
I thought Coogler
I
did.
don't think he did, Nick. I think he didn't direct. He didn't direct.
it might have been Eddie Coogler,
Eddie Coogler, yeah.
his wayward nephew.
No, he went from Creed to Black Panther to Black Panther 2 to Sinners. He did not do Creed 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I have heard
He
that Creed
produced
2 and 3 were... So it is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, he's got a role in it. I've heard that it's a good movie. but I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
You thought it was good, right?
Yeah, I thought they were good.
I have not seen Creed 2 or 3. I
So,
need to
thus,
do that.
Romulus 2, if they follow up on that, could be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, part of what I liked about it was, like, that was an interesting cast. I liked their kind of... It continued the sort of blue-collar alien thing, but this was kind of like sort of young exploited workers.
Yeah.
Not quite the... These are almost more like teenagers, as I recall it, and less the 30-somethings.
It was probably 20-somethings playing teenagers. But,
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot, but I wish he was directing it. I do wish he was directing it.
Yeah.
I also really am liking Alien Earth. I don't know if you're caught up on that yet, Nick.
Not.
It's so good.
I think I'm about 3 episodes in, and I continue to be like, I don't know. Like, it's interesting, but I also feel like it's kind of pretentious. And there was at least one scene in it where I was like, oh, come on. Or something like that.
I love it. I love Holly's TV. And
did you watch Legion at all?
Just a little bit. Just 2 or 3 episodes of that.
But it has
But
kind
I
of
did.
that same vibe.
I liked it.
It's a little pretentious. It's a little...
Yeah, Legion was pretentious, but, like, it was, like, barely... Like, you guys who have watched Legion... Have you all watched all of Legion?
I've watched all of Legion. Yeah.
Does it ever much connect up with X-Men stuff?
No, I mean, there's nods to it, but no, not really.
Like, are mutants even mentioned?
I don't remember.
I don't think they are.
See, the thing is, I think that I like what Hawley does when he takes a premise and he puts his spin on it.
Right.
He did that with Fargo. That he's really good at this. It's kind of the kind of thing that Alan Moore does. Mm-hmm. I sort of lost the taste for Alan Moore doing it. Mm-hmm. I like what Noah Hawley does it.
The reason I mentioned it was because I was like, I think I lost my train of thought. With Legion, I think it's actually almost so removed from X-Men stuff that I would be watching it and not thinking, like, are they ever going to mention mutants? Like, I wouldn't care.
But this is
hip deep in the lore of, like, a many-movie series, and it seems a little weird to do what some of the stuff he's doing. At the same time, it's not completely bonkers, but there was something where I was just like... It was one of those things where I forget what it was, like, I don't buy that this character could take on an alien, or that this would happen.
I can see what you're saying. That doesn't bother me, but they did sort of depower the alien, essentially.
Yeah, there was kind of a weird thing where I was just like, oh, weird, as dangerous as these are, like, they kind of forgot it with it at some point or something. I forget what the scene was. It was in the 3rd episode, I think. I
have not seen the 3rd. I've seen the first 2.
Okay. Man, I love it. The last episode in particular I thought was... better than most of the Alien movies have been.
I feel like when I'm watching it that I'm watching a writer writing characters, and I feel like I'm not watching characters.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I am a huge Noel Hawley fan. This is part of why.
I have accepted all forms of Alien movies into my life, so I'm okay with whatever interpretation.
Dave, you feel like this, same way you feel about Nick feels about nuclear war. Just not a fan. Whereas Nick feels about this the way that you feel about nuclear war.
Randy,
but I love war and Noah Hawley's Alien Earth.
Can we all be in favor of aristocrats being eaten by aliens?
Yes, there's across the board all for that.
I thought you were about to say Aristocats, and I was like, no, I like the cats.
No, Aristocats can stay.
No, not the Aristocats. The Aristocrats.
The Aristocrats. Right, the dirty joke movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
The last bit of news: Sophie Turner has been cast as Lara Croft on Amazon Prime's Tomb Raider series. I actually think it's a TV series that might work better, except that they've done some really boring action series.
Yeah.
Like that one the Russo brothers did that I couldn't watch more than 2 episodes
that costs
of.
like $1 million.
Well, when your boss has like a giant yacht, he just spends money on whatever.
There's a kind of a question of like, what does Lara Croft as a character like bring to the table as a franchise anymore?
Yeah.
And like,
well, she's a hot girl with guns.
Yeah, but like the thing is, like, we are a little bit in like the post. It's not the 90s anymore. It's not the bad girl with the guns era, and that's when she was created in.
No, Dave, it's Trump's America now. We're going back to all that shit.
Oh boy.
Yep.
But I mean, Alicia Vikander is beautiful, and her movie couldn't sustain. Right. I thought the Angelina Jolie movies were not amazing, but they were entertaining.
They're all right.
I did not like those movies.
Oh, really?
No, I don't like them.
It's for Daniel Craig.
They're okay.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, like, I'm at least probably a game behind it, but I played 2 games worth of the sort of modern Lara Croft ones where it was like kind of more harsh survivalist ones.
I'm in the same boat.
And they were really good. They were very good games. And I'm like, but like, as a concept, it doesn't, like, if you were to just say, they're gonna make a movie of that one, I'd be like, neither that nor the original ones where she was more like, almost like the way Bond was in the 90s, glamorous and badass, right? You know? And here she was just more survivor badass.
Yeah.
But, like, she takes her lumps and bruises and stuff in the newer games. Neither of those sound like something that's particularly appealing right now. Like, so I'm like, you need, like, a story or a cool hook, and I don't know what...
It's kind of funny, because I'm kind of the same place you are. I have not liked any... I'm not a big fan of the games.
Yep.
I really didn't like the movies. But I was always like, you know... The one thing I can say is Sophie Turner seems like good casting.
She's a good actress.
That's all like, okay, yes, that's good casting for a thing I do not care about.
Right.
I like Sophie Turner, so I want good things for her, but
I'd be
I'm
curious
also
to know, like, who's writing, producing, all of that.
Right, that's what I was kind of curious looking up, like, is there a...
I actually, like, the Tomb Raider games of the 90s, those were some of my favorite games ever, to be honest. Like, especially the very first one, I had, like, such a good time playing it that it's, like, one of my all-time favorite game experiences.
Okay.
Oh.
And so, I root for Tomb Raider stuff, even though most spin-offs are, like, meh.
Nick,
Okay.
who's doing it?
So it's Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Oh, okay, that's actually interesting. I like her stuff.
But, I mean, she made Indiana Jones palatable.
Yeah.
But...
I really loved it when I saw it in the theater, and when I watched it again, I liked it a lot less.
Yeah.
I was like, the shock of it all, the shock of seeing that worked, and then
after that last Indiana Jones, I was like, anything is better.
Yeah,
anything
true.
could be better. But, and I never really got into Fleabag. Which I know,
I love
I know
Fleabag.
you did.
Yep.
I never tried that one, but the scenes I've seen have been really good.
Yeah. And she's really good. She's a great writer. So I'll be curious to see what hook she has come up with.
I am slightly interested in it now.
Yeah, I will probably try it out just because of my fondness for the franchise, even though, again, it's a franchise where I have very low expectations.
3D rendering of a lady with guns trying to not fall off cliffs as trying to do puzzles.
Yeah, I maybe it'll be like a weird meta spoof thing that'll like spoof all the weird glitches in the games and stuff like that. And
Getting stuck in walls.
Yeah, you get stuck in walls, endless death scenes.
I think they did a little bit of that in the Alicia Vikander one.
I still slightly cringe over do you remember this death scene in the recent remakes, Nick, where she's going down the river and you have to kind of make her swerve this way and that? But at one point, if you do it wrong, she gets her head like impaled on like a branch that's sharp branch, and it goes right up through her on the other side of her jaw. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's like, oh.
I was like, I didn't know I was playing some Mortal Kombat game suddenly here, but yeah, that level of violence. But she also is like using the bow and arrow in that. Super fun.
That's very satisfying.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for us this week.
Yep.
We'll be back next week with more. Until that time,
Yo, Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.